Alright, here we are. I think gonna try YouTube Studio for streaming this time. But if it's nothing special, I think I would go to Twitch. Yeah, I mean, I really don't need this live preview right now. I think I can turn this off. And how do I open Studio from here? Studio mode, what is that? So the docs, I guess. Is this thing streaming? I wonder. I think I should be live, right? This should be streaming right now. All right. There's probably some delay. No data? What's the meaning of no data? I guess I'm watching myself. It's like doesn't make any sense. It's talking to myself. Prophecy of Sarkomal. According to rumors circling both Indaros and Thistle Hall, the Sun Church has recovered a prophecy from an old temple ruin a couple of days ago. Walk east of Karvosti. First Father CBGI firmly denies all knowledge of such a find, but that has hardly stopped the rumor mill from grinding. Quite the opposite. In a short time, numerous versions of the prophecy have appeared, all reflecting the same basic theme. Ambria is supposed to gain lordship over all land once ruled ancient Symbaroum, and Queen Corinthia will ascend to the throne of the Empire's last emperors. What? What is that? I wonder if it's working at all. Can I make this bigger? Probably not. The areas of conflict. 3 main populations in the region have such disparate relationship to Davokar, you would probably conclude that the Ambrians always collide with the Elder Folks, and the Barbarians are caught somewhere in between. Of course, it's not simple as that. There are lots of individuals who do not fit that mold. Ambrians who join the Elves in their ambition to keep Davokar in peace, as well as single barbarians, elves, changelings, and ogres who have made their homes in Ambria. The ways of life, the arrival of Corinthia and her subjects, the land north of the Titans was home to a motley array of creatures with diverse customs and an often complicated relationship to one another. The presence of the Ambrians has affected the people of the region in different ways, in part as a result of adaptation, in part as an effect of defiance, or at least a need to demonstrate some kind of uniqueness relative to the new lords of the land. The Davokar. What is this? Okay, so this map is this Davokar region. I guess it's the forest up north. Oh, one viewer, hi. It's my first time streaming, so I have here the chat on my side, but let me know if at least it's visually fine and you can hear me well. That would be welcome. Trying to look here at Symbaroum lore, looking at the map. Oh yes, hi, welcome Dennis, I can read you. Thanks, there's probably some delay between what I read and what you see, but that should be fine. I'm setting up here a tabletop simulator game. Look how fancy is this. It's like, I don't have room to have such a setup physically. 5 minutes, that's a lot. And I've got a bunch of miniatures here, my character sheets, not so easy to read, but it works, I guess. My 3 PCs around here and my books. And my solo systems around here, which I'm gonna launch in a few minutes once I'm comfortable with the setting a little bit and refreshing what's the game about in Symbaroum. Been playing it anyways, but I'm gonna set up some plot seed and try to go from there. So this Davokar forest, I guess the south is somewhere the Ambrian, or like this civilized world, with a bunch of important cities like Indaros, Mergil, Agrella, Kurun, Temple Wall, Ravenia. And then there seems to be a Thristle Hold somewhere here. Not sure if this is better, I guess. Hey David. Oh, thanks. And I guess I don't recognize you by the nickname, but I think I know who you are. Welcome. Yeah, this is a pretty setup here. Got some delay until I get your messages, but it's like Tabletop Simulator. It's not automating anything for me, but it gives me the room I don't have in my physical room, so it's quite fun. You're welcome to have fun here and listen a bit. Feel free to drop in, hop off. I don't have any particular plans. It's the first time I'm playing live, so it's a bit weird. But I'm setting up a game from scratch using the game unfolding machine. It has this plot seed generator I'm gonna go through to see what's the game about, and in the meantime, figuring out what is there on the lore of Symbaroum to get some inspiration here. But what I see is like there's a huge forest up in the north, and it's probably full of bad and evil things, while the south, the civilized south, is trying to put things in order. Let's see what else I've got here. The Hordes of Darkness. Despite the fact that more than 2 decades have passed since the victory, the Dark Lords and the Great War is ever present in the lives of the Ambrians. Usually people only talk about the triumphs, about the heroic deeds of the Lightbringers, about how the armies of Corinthia massacred hordes of undead creatures. All else is repressed, not least that the Queen's soldiers were often forced to kill the same enemies again and again, enemies that, in addition, had been their brothers and sisters until they fell victim to the murderous magic of the Dark Lords. The one who were there remember. I wonder how long ago that was. I guess there's a timeline here, but I don't think I need to go back in time. I guess there's a bunch of eras here. Talks about some war against the Dark Lord and the Great War. Like sometimes Symbaroum has this tone of dark fantasy, but in the end, in other times it sounds like a bit vague in its terms. But I guess it's on purpose. What else we have? The Prophecy of Sarkomal, areas of conflict. I guess this could be interesting. There are 3 main populations in the region with disparate relationships to the Davokar. You would probably conclude that the Ambrians always collide with the Elder Folks and that the Barbarians are caught somewhere in between. Of course, it is not as simple as that. There are a lot of individuals who do not fit that mold. Ambrians who join the Elves in their ambition to keep Davokar in peace, as well as single barbarian elves, changelings, and ogres who have made their homes in Ambria. So I guess everything or anything goes. But I'm gonna go, these are the Ambrian clans of the barbarian, no, not Ambrian, I guess these are barbarian forces, houses of nobility. Then the barbarian clans. Okay. Then we've got the Church of Prios. The sun god Prios governs a domain of its own in Ambria, a territory large as a duchy centered around the city of Temple Wall. Alright, so I'm gonna start with some plot seed and then use whatever I need to get going in a game. So let's see where the game could start. Generally speaking, I'm gonna roll a d20 over here in the World Truths location archetype and just get going. 19, that's a prison, captive, police station, dungeon, courts locked. Okay, I guess I would be interested in either a prison or a dungeon. I've got my characters here, so they are PCs that belong to the barbarian clans somehow. So we have Rothar, who is like a thieves guild. We've got Hydra, she's a sorcerer, so definitely barbarian. And finally we've got a goblin, I used them in another game, so I'm gonna use the same miniatures. Pretty cool. So they begin somehow in a prison, or maybe they are prisoners of someone. I'm gonna start taking some notes here. PCs begin as prisoners of some sort. It's gonna be usually hard to play, but let's figure that out. Let's roll a d20 in the background problem. That's a 2. High crime, violence, murders, gangs, mobs, anarchy. There's no law. So things are in a chaotic setup. Probably some barbarian tribes fighting each other, and somehow PCs caught in between. That's what I'm making up out of these two things together. And let's go for the plot hook to see where could we begin. That's number 10. Terrible event related to the world truth. So a terrible event related to being prisoners, I guess. So maybe someone is angry, or someone, what could be an event related to us being prisoners? What have we done is the big question. If I look at the characters, we've got a goblin, a sorcerer, and a thief. So what could go wrong, right? With these kind of characters, anything could go wrong. The sorcerers could have been involved in some sort of big ritual. Probably the thief guy has helped her steal something needed for that ritual. And the goblin, which is like full of runes as tattoos, could have been somehow the catalyst of the ritual itself. So I'm placing the PCs in the center of the plot here. So I'm gonna take some notes around this. So a ritual being performed. All PCs are part of it and probably made someone angry. And given this setup, it's a chaotic barbarian tribes fighting with each other. I could say the PCs were making a tribe to actually support one of the tribes win the fight, or at least influence it. So I think I can take a look at this ritual that the PC has. Hydra, the sorceress, she's got a ritual called Desecrating Rite that corrupts a location. Page 141. Somewhere around here. Page 141. Rituals. Let's look for it. Desecrating Rite. The mystic desecrates a specific site, tainting it, and in effect punishing those who try to affect it from the outside. A desecrated location corrupts those who use rituals like clairvoyance, summoning, or heretic's trail on it. The desecration gives 1d6 temporary corruption to those who perform said rituals, and if they persist in trying to get information with ritual, they also suffer 1d6 corruption. What could they be trying to achieve through these rituals, I wonder? I mean, if the PCs are doing a desecrating rite in an enemy tribe, on an enemy barbarian's clan, they probably don't have exactly good intentions, because sorcery is incredibly evil in Symbaroum. It's like the representation of evil and defying that corruption that exists in the world. It's like defying the rules of magic per se and getting in touch with the evil demons on the other plane. And if the characters were going through this, I'm guessing there was a good reason. So I guess maybe you can do some world building before we proceed here, because we need to figure out who are these clans. Both the one that has the PCs captured because they begin as prisoners of some barbarian clan. I guess they are prisoners of whoever was impacted by the ritual, so the victim, I guess, unless it's a third party. Maybe you can leave that to an oracle, like, are the PCs captured by the victims of the ritual, or are they captured by a third party? And after that, we're gonna define if there are 2 players in this story or 3 players in this story. Going to start thinking about filling in the plot sheet of Plot Unfolding Machine to make use of that later in the game. So, oracles. I need oracles. Oracles. Deterministic oracle. This is the new preview of Plot Unfolding Machine, by the way, so it's not the one released. But it's supposedly better than every other release of Plot Unfolding Machine. So, we need to fix and figure out whether the PCs are prisoners by the barbarian tribe that they impacted a desecrating rite against, or if they are prisoners of a third party. On a yes, they are prisoners of a third party. And I'm gonna roll a d10. That's a 5, I guess it's a weak no. So they are not prisoners of a third party, but since it's a weak no, it means someone on a third party did, let's say, expose the PC. So maybe a traitor of Barbarian Clan number 1. So world building is 3 factions in the Davokar forest. The third party exposed the PCs while performing a desecrating rite. Now let's figure out who the clans are. Got here, I think. Let me check in which page are the barbarian clans listed. Setting up a game is never easy. Barbarian clans, page 27. Here we are. We've got the Gaoya, Enoi, Godingia, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tribes. So I'm gonna roll a d12 first to see what is the barbarian clan that summoned the PCs to perform this rite. At least like the PC's side. Let's do that first. So it's a d12. I'm gonna re-roll in case I get a 12 because I have only 11 clans, if I counted right. So the PCs are working for number 7. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the Odayova. Oh, that's the one I played with in the last game, so. The territory of Clan Odayova spans between Karvosti and Thistlehold, which means that the route between the 2 settlements traverses their grounds, hence one should not be surprised that the Odavs have gotten used to the Embrian presence and learned to capitalize on it. It's often the people of Odayova who act as intermediaries in contact and trade between Ambrians and barbarians. Okay, so of all clans, we've got the most civilized one, or the one that's probably in touch with the Ambrian, which is the civilized world of the south. Let's take a look at the map again. I might need this map at hand, but if I get it right, this clan is located somewhere here between Thistlehold and Temple Wall, if I read correctly. So it's somewhere here outside the Davokar forest. In the Narugor region. So PCs started in the Narugor region. The second clan, which is the one impacted by the ritual, is, let's roll another d12. Number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Vajvod. Southeastern Davokar, particularly the area around the stone fortress Vodar and River Dudram, is the home of the Vajvods. The remote location and the relative openness of its inhabitants have made it possible for the Ambrians to gain a firm foothold in the territory, clearly demonstrated by the colony Karos Fen, the trade ships sailing all the way up to the source of the river and the forward base that the Queen's Rangers have in the area. What are these guys? I'm not sure I make sense of these people. Stone Fortress Voivodar and River Dudram is the home of the Vaivods. Relative openness of its inhabitants have made it possible for the Ambrians to gain a firm foothold in the territory. So Ambrians even are involved there. So I'm guessing the traitors to the PCs were Ambrian forces. That could be interesting. Let's see where these Vaivod are in the map. I think it was page... to remember that the map is on page 19. Where is that exactly? I have no idea. Is it a river? Yeah, here's the Dudran. Here's the Dudran. What did it say about these guys again? So southeastern Davokar, particularly the area around the stone fortress. Around the stone fortress and the river Daudram. Okay. I guess the stone fortress was somewhere here. Am I blind? Because I don't see it. The stone fortress. But I'm guessing it should be somewhere here. Alright, I'm gonna make some excuse. I don't think this Ravenia is an important city as well as the Indara, so I guess it should be somewhere here. Around the stone fortress Voivodar and river Dodram. The remote location and relative openness of its inhabitants have made it possible for the Ambrians to gain a firm foothold. So both are quite... Okay, so let's just write this down. So we've got the Odavoyas tribe. That's where the PCs are, or at least worked for, or were involved with. The Vaivod. That's the enemy tribe. And we've got a third party, which is probably some Ambrian forces or some Ambrian Juki, because both have relationships to the Ambrian. Probably they are fighting over commerce or foothold in this region, or maybe they are probably competing against each other. So that's the first thing I came up with. Given they fight around this region, there's probably trade routes here involved. So there's the river on one side, and then there is Temple Wall and this area of the Odavoya. So I guess there's some sort of commercial competition, to say at least, and probably some also violent encounters around it. So they don't like each other. But to justify A desecrating rite? That's interesting. So we've got some Duki here. Gonna make it a third party, non-relevant now. Some forces of some important family was involved in making trades. I'm thinking that someone from the Ambrian civilization wants to split these two clans to make them fight against each other. You know, this divide and conquer strategy. And since they compete for resources and trade routes, and they are like, of all barbarian clans, the one most close to civilization or Ambria, wouldn't surprise me that they go far reach to do like none of the best practices, or to practice non-legal ways of competing with each other. So somebody, probably some important merchant is going to be related in this, and somehow they were working with the PCs, and that's how the story will begin, for them to make a desecrating rite, to ruin this competition fiercely, to invoke demons and evil. For it has to be bigger than that, right? Our PCs is a sorceress, but I'm gonna let it go for now and go on from there to get what's the plot hook. But this is the context. So we've got two fighting barbarian clans, probably violently fighting. The PCs performed the ritual and they were somehow captured by the Voivod. So they're currently probably getting transported back to the Voivod dungeon, where they're gonna be locked in forever, if not subject to trial or execution. So I'm picturing some sort of Skyrim-like beginning. Let's see what's the plot hook from there. Did we roll for the plot hook? I think we didn't. 6 stands for a formal request, a petition, a royal mandate. That's interesting. The first scene is gonna be with the PCs, the characters. So we've got the sorceress, Hydra, the thief, Rother, and the goblin with runes in his body. This is runic warrior, as they call them, taken prisoners by the Voivod, this barbarian clan, because they were found, or somebody exposed the PCs performing a ritual before it finished. So I think it didn't manage to impact on anybody. And the plot seed, the plot hook that Game Unfolding Machine is suggesting is there's a formal petition. So if there's a formal petition, that means on prisoners, that means someone of enough power is going to interrupt this caravan of prisoners with the PCs in it, and it's going to make or give an order, maybe to extract them. That's going to be pretty interesting. So someone with enough power or wealth is interrupting or intercepting the prisoners' caravan where the PCs are, and is going to request for them, or ask for the PCs in particular. So I'm gonna fill in some details here. We need to know who is this powerful person. I'm gonna guess it's someone from the Ambrian kingdom, because this is the powerful force in this region as far as we know. So we need an NPC here for the first scene. The question is, how do we generate an interesting NPC who is neutral enough? I guess I got this miniature here of a noble woman. I'm gonna put her in this scene. So it's a she, we know it's a woman, and I'm gonna go with the Game Unfolding Machine and create a character by intention. So let's figure out what this person wants with us by intention. Hi there, there's 2 viewers. Thank you for being here. I hope this makes sense so far. I guess it's hard to follow, but let me know if you have any thoughts or opinion or questions. So a new character by intention, that's a 17. Present you someone else and refer to. All right. So we've got this noble person here. The scene begins with the PCs being taken prisoners by the Voivod, a barbarian tribe which is civilized enough to make trade with the Ambrian. And I'm gonna start taking some important notes so I begin the game in that scene. World aspects, what do we have? So we have clashing barbarian clans. That's one world aspect. Oh yeah, thank you, David. Yes, there's a lot in it in terms of lore. Symbaroum is pretty dark in terms of placing corruption at hand, and every character has a shadow that casts across dimensions and these kind of things. But at the same time, it's quite uncivilized world where there's tons of barbarian clans that are each on their own, mixed up with different races and trying to trade and survive the darkness of the Davokar forest. And then we've got like the big kingdom under Queen Corinthia that's trying to civilize the world that's as it is, or as it's known, with its own problems, of course. Yeah, I'm exploring it as I play, so that's also fun, the fun part of it. World aspects, I guess there's going to be... I'm gonna use the GMA cards here to bring some aspect, some random aspect on this world. Let's see what it gives. An item misidentified. All right. What does that give me? So I'm gonna play some world background issue related to an artifact that's gone missing. I'm gonna use for that world aspect the object generator and generate a function for it. Let's see what that brings. 14. Here, listen, record. Okay, I'm gonna make up some random artifact that is known to have been lost or stolen. I'm gonna give it a name. I think there's an artifacts list in Symbaroum, but I'm gonna make something up for the sake of fun, of world building. So the Ixar has been stolen. What is that? We don't know, but I'm gonna write it down here. Ixar stolen. Some object that seems or is rumored to be able to hear in the corruption dimension. That allows a sorcerer to hear in the beyond and its shadows. Hi, Dennis. Yes, that's a great idea, actually. That's a great idea. I love that idea. So exactly, this Ixar, which was stolen, was one of the components of the ritual. I love that idea. Thank you. That's incredibly important because the ritual would have been successful if this component was where it should be and someone stole it. Somehow, we don't know if it was during the ritual, before, in the preparation. Let's leave that open, but it was an essential part of the ritual. So the PCs want it back, bad, especially the sorcerers. Real bad. Maybe I'm gonna generate some corruption on her as long as she doesn't find it. Some 1 point of corruption per session or something like that. Depends if this game goes further, I really hope. Cool. That's the second world aspect, so we don't know what that means in the background, but if this aspect is invoked, it might mean something. Let's generate a third aspect in this game. Let's bring a horror deck card. I don't know if this will fit, but let's figure it out. Catalyst, eccentric party. Eccentric party. I'm thinking of some tribal rites that are being performed. Like we are in some sort of holiday season for different clans, and maybe it's a sacred time for this eccentric. Let's make it macabre and do that. Like it involves sacrifices, and this is for this faction, the Voivod. Voivod sacrifice calendar. Okay, let's move on. Relevant actors. So we've got this noble. I need a name for her. Let's call her... Oh, she's got a name here in this miniature. Felroti III of House Kalikar. I don't know if that exists. I don't think that's Symbaroum specific. Let's take a quick look at the duchies of Symbaroum. The Queen's Army. Houses of Nobility, page 54. Let's pick one at random. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, D8. We have a D8. 8. So this woman is from the Prios domain. At the heart of Ambria lays Prios domain, or Prios domain, with first father GC Big I functioning as the steward of the sun god. Oh, these are religious guys. This could fit well. These are religious duchies of Ambria, where Ambria's largest high roads intersect, the one between Indaros and Thistlehall and the one between Kurun and Ravenia rests Temple Wall. That fits perfectly because we are exactly in that region. High seat of the Sun Church, surrounded by rolling plains where the crops sway in the wind and the cattle graze peacefully, assured that they are safe from harm. I think this is the Prios domain. That means it's like the core of the Prios church, this church of the sun god. So this is the Knights of the Dying Sun. How can we link these things together? The Twilight Fairs, the Black Cloaks. So there's a bunch of things here. The priesthood responsible for interpreting Prios commandments and for managing all his temples, from the cathedral in Indaros and Temple Wall to the repaired shrine in Karvosti. Their current representative in the Curia is named Annabella Argona. What if she is the PC? The NPC. Annabella Argona, and is the sister of Count Alcantor Argona, a bond that the Count is accused of exploiting in the ambition to expand his domain and influence. I think that fits perfectly. Let's make her that person. Annabella Argona. And house... No, the Prius domain. If I got it right. That's what she is. And she needs to be part of the relevant actors. Hi, hey Tessius, welcome. Super welcome to see you around here. Setting up some world building rules, playing just casually as I always do in the world of Symbaroum. So making random jumps in and out of the book to get some ideas. Nice to see you there. Annabella Argon. She's from the Prius domain. Who else? I'm gonna put the relevant actors are the Voivod tribe. The ones this tribe are taking us captive. The PCs are being taken prisoners by this tribe. At the moment, Annabella Argon will show up in the first scene. The offended side. And then we probably got the ones the PCs were fighting for, and maybe I hope these guys come and help us eventually. So the Odavoya tribe is the PC's faction. So there should be some relevant actors around there. We can figure that out later. Oh, 3 viewers. Yeah, guys, let me know if my voice is fine, if so far everything makes sense. Feel free to hop in, hop on, hop off to the game, and feel free to ask me anything about the setup if you're curious, but I'm virtually representing the space I don't physically have in my room, with books I don't even have physically. So let's go on. So we proceed to the first scene soon. Story troubles. What's going on in this world? Story troubles. Well, one trouble is probably, I'm gonna make the Vaivod tribe are taking us prisoners, but probably some of them are not happy. So I'm gonna add the angry side of the Vaivod. So that's a trouble in our story. The other thing that's troublesome is I need to generate some random dangers that could come in this game. Or I can leave this open and generate it later, but I guess the wilderness is already dangerous in Symbaroum. I'm gonna leave it at that. So active leads, what do we know so far about this thing being stolen? We don't know much about, but maybe we can play the first scene without any guesses. What do our characters know about the artifact that got stolen? How can we make a clue? I'm gonna go to the game unfolding machine, plot discovery, and make a gender. The barbarian tribes inside Davokar can also be a danger, as well as the elves inside. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And nobody wants to meet the elves, actually. The elves here are purely barbarian. It would be cool to involve the elves here. Need to... I hope we don't go into the forest that far. So far we need to deal with the PCs being taken prisoner. They are in some sort of caravan being transported to the tribe of the Vaivod because they were performing a ritual, a dark ritual. The PCs were. These sorcerers here, one of my characters, Hydra, has a desecrating rite ritual, and it offended the clan Vaivod, and essentially, and somehow, they took the prisoners captive because someone else exposed them. And at the same time, a very important component called the Yixar has been stolen from the ritual preparation. So things went really bad in the background as this game begins. What else do we know? Yeah, I have Hero Forge account, and I downloaded some of them. So in Hero Forge I buy these packs of miniatures. So some of them are here and others I found in the workshop. But I think, yeah, this one I don't remember. So many of them I have here in my objects. In Tabletop Simulator. Where's the music, by the way? Okay. So let's define the first scene. We're pretty empty-handed with everything that's been going on. I wonder if we are ready. So what's happening is the following. There's a caravan, and the scene begins somewhere in this region called, I guess somewhere around here. I should copy this and just have this fixed for the map because I use it often enough. I'm gonna place these guys around where we are. We're somewhere in this region. There's a big forest here behind Castor. We're being transported somewhere near the river Dodran. The PCs are all removed from their weapons and their armors and their equipment. However, their stuff is somewhere in this wagon. They're being carried on. There's a strong wind, very terrible visibility in these plains. And with that, I'm gonna roll, guys, with the first scene. And in this scene, I expect Annabella Argona to jump in. She is a part of the domain of Prios. That means she is part of this Church of Prios. It's a powerful faction that represents the religious forces of Ambrian. And for some reason, they would have interest for the PC. So they are gonna jump in. Probably she's coming with some Templars or some religious knights and a large group of knights. And she's going to interrupt the caravan. And that's not good for the Voivode. I'm gonna ask the universe if the PCs are blindfolded. Deterministic question. That's a true. The PCs are not blindfolded, so they are just hand-tied. Probably their feet tied as well and tied down to the wagon they're being transported in, very likely. I wonder if there's more than one wagon. How large is this? Strong, no, definitely not just one wagon. So it's probably they are split in multiple, with several barbarian forces from the Voivode, and the PCs are actually separated in 3 different wagons, one on each. So we've got the Thieves guy, the Goblin, and they were figuring out a way to escape, obviously, but it happens where Annabella shows up with the force of Prius. Halt, she says, and with that I launch the first scene. It has to be a modified proposal by the rules of Plate Unfolding Machine. I need to have a checker to mark where we are in the plot. That's part of the new Plot Unfolding Machine. I'm gonna place it here. Modified proposal. So how my expectation will be modified is a question. 6. Bring someone helpful. Someone helpful to the scene that's not Annabella Aragona is going to be someone from the clan the PCs are from. So I'm gonna add one extra NPC that belongs to the clan of Ova de Oyad. So that means the Annabella Aragona has or is involved with the Oda Voyas clan in this scene. And that's not good for the other clan, for the Voivodes. What is the meaning of this, says the caravan leader. Get out of our way. Those prisoners belong now to the domain of Prios, the church. And by all means, I execute the power of these lands to invoke the law of transgression. What? This is absurd. There's nothing you might want from this scum. They were performing sorcery and evil rituals that not even the Church of Prios of yours should enable or allow in this world. Now remove yourself from the way, or expect trouble. I'm gonna need some sort of... What does she want? So from the... Let's make a parenthesis here. From the game Unfolding Machine, we are playing the plot seed generation as part of the game. And we knew that she wants the players. And she's willing to... The player characters, and she's willing to take them. Whatever it means. It's a fight between them. I guess the PCs cannot do anything about that. I wonder if any one of us would do anything. This thief is a liar. Does anyone has good charisma to do some BS? Persuasive 5, persuasive 10, persuasive 9. Nobody's a good talker here. So I'm gonna wait a little bit and see what these NPCs say to each other. Do you really want to do this the bad way or the good way? Says Annabella to the wagon caravan lead. Let's see if these guys give in. I'm gonna guess an interaction oracle. This is the third column. Let's see what they say. 8. They say yes, but be careful. So they're gonna give in, but they're gonna warn Annabella that this is not the way things should be. So this caravan master will say, you are making a terrible mistake, Annabella Argona. Everybody in this region knows of you. And you should not mess around with the families. This is but the border of your region, and you should have defined your lines pretty and very carefully. Release them, says the caravan master. I'm gonna ask if anyone else in the caravan opposes this action. It's gonna be unlikely, so I'm gonna roll twice and stick with the lowest roll. Does anybody interrupt or shouts against this action? The wagon master. The smallest is 2. Sorry, I need the highest. I need the highest closer to the... Oh no, yes, the smallest is a 2. So, using the deterministic roll, it's no. Nobody really opposes this action. Everybody seems to respect this wagon master. I think we need this guy in this relevant actors. We need to name him because I think he's pretty important. Because he managed to threat one of the figures of this region, and not only that, Annabella is like an important figure of the Prios domain, the religious sun temple. So let's name this guy, who seemed to be reasonable or smart enough not to get into trouble. I'm gonna get a picture for him as well. Super quickly, I'm not gonna think so much. I'm gonna use this image here from the internet and bring a figurine for this guy. There you go. I'm gonna make it very big. So this guy is none other than Chieftain Rothras. I don't know, making some names up, it's not easy. So Chieftain Rothras of the clan Vaivod is gonna be an important character here. And the PCs are coming down from the caravans. That's a smart move, says Annabella Argona. I wonder if she's defiant. What's her personality? Will she like counter to what the chief said, or she's gonna stay on the line? 9. 9, she's gonna say yes and hurry up. So she's pretty a spicy character. She's gonna spice it up and it's gonna say yes, yes, yes. Rothras, we all know you. Now hurry up and hand over the prisoners. So the prisoners are untied, but still chained, and they are handed over to Annabella Argona, which is going to order some of her knights to take the prisoners and do what? I guess they want to take us elsewhere. Or, yeah, I guess going to take us elsewhere. The question is where, we don't know. One of the PCs is gonna say something. Goltas the Goblin is pretty badass, and he's like, fuck it, I don't care. Gonna escape one way or another. Oh, Rother is very similar name. Okay, anyways. The rogue is gonna whisper as he comes by Annabella and is gonna say, thank you. We owe you our lives. Pretty noble of him. And Hydra the Sorceress, she's gonna give a bad look to Rothras, as if she's gonna probably meet him again later on. And with that, I'm gonna go and move on to the next scene. They are being taken on horses probably, and we're gonna go elsewhere. Let's generate a location for where do they take us. Location generator by feature. 4. A dangerous, full of traps place, enemies and leaders. Okay, they are taking us somewhere dangerous. What could that mean and why? I have no idea. Let's roll another d20 for something else for purpose. 15. Production, manufacturing, assembly, location. So they're going to take us a place where the domain of Brios is probably building something, maybe an outpost. They are raising up some walls somewhere. And it's dangerous. Why is it dangerous? I have no idea why is it dangerous. Why could they take us somewhere dangerous, and what dangerous could mean? Why would they take us somewhere dangerous? Let's see, I need some sort of big oracle roll probably to help me. But I'm gonna stick with the fact that they are taking us to some outpost where they are building machinery, probably siege weapons or whatever, plus raising walls. That's what my imagination said. But the question of why it's dangerous, maybe nobody likes us over there. That's it. Probably we're not welcome there. In the end, our PCs are barbarians, and they're probably taking us to a place where it's more civilized than the typical Davokar region, if such a place exists. And it's gonna be somewhere near probably Ravenia. We're gonna be taken somewhere to the east, closer to the river. And with that, I'm gonna get the next part of the plot seed, which is the mission itself. What is what Annabella will want from the characters? 4. To sabotage or infiltrate an enemy operation. All right. In the scene number 2, I'm gonna move here. Oh, where is the checker I was using? Disappeared. In the scene number 2, we've got a suggestion here by Plot and Folly Machine to use the world, to invoke a world aspect in this location. Let's see which. 9 stands for a new world aspect. So let's see what do we learn about. I'm gonna reroll actually. That's a 9 again. Okay, it sticks on 9, so it has to be something new. I give up. There's a new world aspect that's invoked in this location. So what do we learn of this area? They're taking us to this outpost. It's called, let's give it a name, Fort Prius. A bit generic, but that's fine. And that's where the PCs are. And they eventually come down from the caravan in this outpost, and in the scene we are entering a fort where there's a mix between the Brotherhood of Prios, priests, some civilians, some workers building up these new walls. I guess a mix of a wooden palisade. The weather is still pretty bad. There's a strong wind, there's still fog on the air. And we are going to learn about this new location that's the Prius. So the world aspect that we're going to invoke here is that Prius domain is expanding. Okay, so that's the new aspect we're going to place here. The PCs are pretty impressed by the fact that the Prius domain or the Prius domain are expanding towards the east of this region. And why? We don't know. Annabella is gonna say, give them something to eat and a place to spend the night. We're going to talk after the sunrise. I will talk to you later. Don't make anything stupid. I know you're not stupid, says Annabella. And then she leaves to do her own stuff, and we are somewhere in this central plaza of this fortress with a lot of guards and some Templar knights from the Church of Prios. And a priest comes, he presents himself and says, welcome to the domains of Prios. I wonder if they have at least this priest treats us well. Are we well treated by this priest? Subjective question. Yes, for now it looks like they are treating us well. So the priest says, welcome. I suppose Annabella has its reason to bring you here. We don't expect or get many newcomers who are not directly authorized by the domain, so consider yourself in a new holy land, my friends. Now follow me. I'm going to take you to your rooms. And Goltas the goblin says, did he say rooms? Shut up, Goltas, says Rother. I'm not sure I like the idea of this. So very suspiciously, the PCs follow the priest. Around us, I'm gonna get a prompty question here to describe the location. Location questions, let's get a D100 over here to get a random prompt questioning about this location. 2 and 3, 23, that is, what is the value or point of interest of this place? That's a great question. Why is this fort relevant here? As a GM, I really don't know myself. But it is something the PCs would look into, particularly Hydra. She's the sorceress, she's gonna take a look around and see, or try to figure why are these, like a Brotherhood of Prios, why would it be building a fortress? So it's militarily secured. And I'm gonna go to Game Unfolding Machine location generator and get a worth. What's the worth of this location? 17. Knowledge, source, records, and documents. That's interesting. So, whatever is this place, Fort Prios, what Hydra will notice as they are being transported or accompanied, they're being carried to their rooms. Hydra's gonna see almost an army of priests. Yes, tons of them walking in queues, carrying over books, many books, all tomes of knowledge. And I wonder where they're what is the source of these books? Are they maybe taken? I'm gonna say they are being taken from an underground vault of some sort. So what Hydra sees is that many priests come out from underground, literally, in the center of the fort of Praios that's being built here, as if they were like taking books of very old and significant value. The question is, why would they build a fortress around a library of books if the books could be moved elsewhere, right? So they, for some reason, want to protect this very own place. I don't think we can tell right now, but I'm gonna add this to the active leads. So Rios domain settling is on, or let's say library, underground library. That's one thing we need to figure out later. Okay, moving on to the next. As time passes, they are being taken to the rooms, and surprisingly they are being well treated by this priest. You can call me Brother Lore. Sure. So, what's the plan, brother? Yes, what's the plan, says the goblin. And the priest is gonna take a look at the goblins, like Golta's runes. He's not wearing any shirt or anything. He's like full of turned off runes, like markings. I must say I'm very impressed. Yes, stop looking at me. You don't want to get interested in me, believe me. Sure, says the brother. I'm sorry to have bothered you. So we should meet soon with Annabella, is that right? Yes. You have still some time to eat something. You should have something to eat in your rooms. And please make sure you don't smell that bad. We're trying to stay civilized in this place. Yes, whatever you say, brother. Annabella will be waiting for you later. And one suggestion, says the priest. Don't talk to anybody. You're not welcome here. He says it like in a tone like he's fine with it, or he's been told to be fine with the PCs, but doesn't seem extremely happy to have barbarian guys in this holy place, right? So he says, don't talk to anybody. Just, you're not welcome here. Please understand. Well, we are not welcome anywhere, so we won't mind, says Goltas the Goblin. And Hydra has been silent so far. I think she's preparing a question from the brother to the brother and to ask him something. I see you are gathering books around here, brother. If I may ask, and I say it doesn't need to be a wise man to figure that you're protecting the place and the source of these books. And the brother priest, will he answer? Will he throw or yield any relevant information? 5 in the interaction oracle is doesn't know. Of course, he will say he doesn't know. Whether it's true or not, we will figure. I'm afraid I do not know the intentions of the domain of Praios, my dear. And if I knew, I wouldn't be sure to be able to tell it either, or even be with you, if you understand what I mean. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go. I want to see Hydra's vigilance. If she rolls 10 or less, she could try to guess what's the priest trying to say here with what he just said. Oh, 5 viewers. Welcome everybody. Please let me know if this makes sense. I'm just playing as I play normally. Please throw in ideas, feedback, questions. Don't mind, you're part of this. It's weird to be playing live, to be honest, but this is honestly how I play, like video or not. Yeah, I'm playing Symbaroum Dark Fantasy game. I really hope you get something out of what you're watching. Whatever, tell me if you're doing things differently, if you move faster or slower. anything is welcome. Cool. So Hydra doesn't get to really get this priest's face intentions. So she's like, I understand, priest. I am sure we will be in touch later. And the priest, before he leaves, is gonna ask her, by our records, you are under the name of Hydra, and the rituals you were performed are not welcome here. Not even the idea of them, or the mere conception of breaking the Order of Prios and the College of Prios of Mages. Rest assured, however, you are safe with us, but do not intend to cause or invoke any of those savage words in here, my dear. He says it very formally, and then he retires himself from the room. And the PCs are going to proceed to eat something and have a time to talk to each other. So, guys, what do you think? What is going on around here, says Rother. What do I think? I think that they've seen the power of our friend here, Hydra, the sorceress, and... well, Hydra, you're not great at hiding that you want to touch the shadows and get involved in troubles all the time, and we have seen you before. Why did you do what did you did? Will you even tell us? And Hydra will keep this ritual secret to herself. This is beyond your understanding, Koltas. There are forces beyond your even significance, my own even significance. So please stop asking this question over and over. You understand that our clan's chief needed something badly, and he needed it direly. Yes, and now we are in a dire trouble. Not only the clans are probably going to get into a war with each other, but also the domain of Prius is now involved and aware of your doings, Hydra. I don't think we're going to be executed in these conditions because they are treating us surprisingly well. Don't discard that idea, First Rother. I have seen people feeding others just before they sacrifice them. Or at least that's what our tribe tends to do. For fun. Whatever. Let's go to talk to Annabella and see what she wants from us. I guess we have no options. Oh, you. Hey, David, reading you. Use Obsidian. Tabletop has a very nice vibe, a bit like playing physical with lots of positive from digital shortcuts, a quick PDF. Yeah, so if I make a pause here, it's like it has lots of shortcuts. So for example, I can have shortcuts on the cameras, which I'm not using here, but with just a quick shortcut I can go to the character sheets. Another one takes me to the oracles, and something like this. So by setting up these cameras, you can quickly jump into different areas of your table. Like, okay, maybe I can set a shortcut here on the map, which I've been needing usually frequently. I should do it. And I press Control 1, and then I store this camera here. So then later on, when I want to go to the map quickly, I should remember this shortcut and go this way faster to the camera instead of looking for it in the table. And for the PDF, yeah, I don't know if you can search actually. I know you can pin it to the right and there is a search function here. You're right. Does this work? Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, wow. Yeah, you can quick search in the PDFs and pin them to the right, which I'm not doing. But definitely it's got a bunch of quality of life stuff that help a lot. All right. What was going on? I'm gonna move to the third scene of the exposition phase in Plot Unfolding Machine. That's where the characters go to meet Annabella. I'm guessing they're going to go to her tent where she is protected by knights, and the PCs are obviously being carried by some guards. They're not going to be let loose anytime or without guard. They even ate and changes their clothes with guard on their doors, so it's not that they are like free yet. And what we know from the game Unfolding Machine plot seed number 1 is that Annabella will want to sabotage someone's mission. Let's see what's her motivation so I can narrate the scene better. 12 on motivation is reveal a world's secret or valuable lore. Interesting. So we need to tie things together now. And this guy is gone, at least for now. It's gonna be somewhere in the background trying to figure out how to recover the PCs. So the PCs go to Annabella. And Rother is gonna say, here we are. What do you want from us exactly? I think seeing Unfolding Machine could give me some ideas of how to roleplay this character. Yeah, I'm gonna roll the behavior. I'm not sure if she's gonna be a nice person or a bad person, so I'm gonna roll a d20 here to see what's her behavior. 11. Despite unliking you, she remains respectful and calm. That is pretty fitting to what I was thinking, to be honest. So she's gonna point towards Hydra and she's gonna say, we have seen and heard what you've been doing. And it's no secret to you probably that those rites are forbidden outside the caste of magic. Yet we have to make an exception, because in times of need and desperation we need to make strides in sacrifice, she says. Goldas is anxious and he's like looking around at the guards, and 2 huge knights in dark armor are looking at him. They're probably wearing helmets, but he knows they're looking at him to not make anything stupid. I guess we won't have any choice as we are our prisoners. So Rother prompts this word. He says, we are your prisoners, and he wants a response. What's her response to that? Scene Unfolding Machine has also a feedback and opinion table. I'm gonna use this to see what she thinks about us being prisoners. 11. Disagree, dislike, and won't allow it. Oh, okay. She disagrees with that idea. That means, my interpretation is that you are. So she's gonna admit that they are her prisoner. And you don't have to remind me of that, Rother. We don't know to whom you serve, but we know that you have nothing to do with the barbarian clans of the East. So don't play stupid on me, and you're gonna do exactly as we need if you want to earn back your freedom. And I'm giving it transparently in the most open of terms the Church of Prios can give. Be grateful that I took myself over this mission. The Brotherhood is not as flexible as I am. I guess we have to thank you, it says in a sarcastic word. Now, shut up and listen, says her. Hey Dennis, you might have missed something. Oh, yes. No, you didn't miss it. So I have that on the back of my head because she's gonna reveal now a world secret and lore right now. It's part of this scene. So that's coming right now. The question is, what is that? And why is that important for us to have to sabotage something? I guess to make our life easy, we talked about the stolen artifact, so that I'm gonna make my life easy on that. And what I'm preparing on the back of my head, just to explain it out loud, is that the Ixar, the artifact that actually you, Dennis, suggested that we play with, has been stolen, and the Church of Prios wants it. And the Church of Prios know that our PCs found it in the past. So this is the sabotage mission. So this is what she's gonna say. And let's reveal something out of the artifact, because I think we deserve it right now. Let's plot unfolding machine, plot discoveries, and roll something here new. To see what does she says about the artifact. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna roll totally at random. That's a 4. That stands for that we will learn about a recent occurrence, something that happened recently in relation to what we just said. And 7. 7 is someone decided to disobey or betray. Of course. The question is, what do we learn about the artifact itself? So that we're gonna use for sure. There's a traitor somewhere. But about the artifact we can learn something. Let's use a general oracle. I think scene unfolding machine can be good for this. I need D100 dice. 81. Oppose, fight, disapprove, dislike, or reject. Okay. 80. Useful, handy, active, convenient. So oppose, a convenient. 75. Oppose a convenient ritual. What do I do with this? Oppose a convenient ritual. I think this ritual. Yeah, right? I know. It's like it's almost perfect for the plot somehow. This girl here, Annabella Argona, herself being from the domain of Prius. Hey Philip, welcome. Setting up a game here as we play it. So I'm quite deep into the game, but feel free to ask questions and interrupt me. And yes, we're here playing. Got very good inputs from our viewers. I'm very happy to have made it this far. So, Annabella's gonna say, there's an artifact. I'm gonna ask a question like, does she know that Hydra was using the artifact herself? Like, did she link the artifact and Hydra together, or will she just request us to find it? Can I make a D10 question here? I guess it's a deterministic question, so it's a 7, it's a yes, so she knows. But what my scouts say, and my spies, you have been performing a rite, a forbidden rite we call a desecrating rite. And by the look of you, I would be looking at you, which you go by the name of Hydra, as the eyes and ears of Davokar say, might have touched. May I see your hand, my dear? My hand? What does that have to do anything? You must have touched the artifact with your hands in order to begin the ritual. Now don't lie to me and show me your left hand. I don't like the idea of this. What does happen when Hydra shows her hand. I'm gonna go scene unfolding machine and go for a definite GM action. Wish me luck. Maybe nothing happens. 60 stands for remains silent. Nothing happens. That's good. Does Annabella see anything in Hydra's hand? 1. Subjective question. Don't know, can't tell. So Annabella takes the hand of Hydra, looks at it for a few seconds. Her face remains a stone. Nothing is seen from there. And then she leaves and releases the hand. What does she say now? I'm gonna go to character contribution. Character generator, no. NPCs interaction, general contribution. Okay, let's get one here. 4. Provides evidence of someone's deeds. Okay, so she provides evidence of someone's deeds. She's gonna release Hydra's hands and say, this is clear a sign that you have begun the ritual, but not finished it. Now, what I want you all 3 to do is to find... What was the name of it? Sorry. The Ixar. And bring it to me. Not only that, but I want you to put whoever has touched it down. I am guessing whoever got his hands on it knows what they're doing. Because only those who can see in the beyond can survive the touch of the artifact. Look at your own hand, my dear, says Annabella to Hydra, and study it well, because you will need to identify someone else's hand who also touched the Ixar. Ooh, that's fancy. Oops. So I'm gonna write this down because I don't want to forget this. What happens with the notes? Does it break or what? Oh, when I write down, something disappears. Note taking in tabletop simulator is not great. Yep, doesn't work. New note also doesn't work. Weird. Anyways, I'm gonna write somewhere else. I prefer to remember this. What if I close it and open it again? Nope. Alright. Anyway, that's what Hydra learns about the artifact. No one can touch it and survive unless they can see in the shadows beyond. That explains why Hydra interacted with the artifact in the first place, and only her can touch it. Yes, I should alt tab to Obsidian. Could you link Excalibur in a tablet or board and doodle write on it? I think so. I just in these times I hate stopping the game just to deal with tools. It's like tools should come and then get out of our way when we play, because we are in the mood right now playing. At least, okay, I am playing, but I hope you're following. It's like the mission giving part, and I'm trying to figure out what the game's gonna be about. So far we have an artifact that's evil, obviously. Hydra, our sorceress, has been using it for a ritual that was incomplete because someone else interrupted it and stole this artifact, and for some reason this domain of Prios wants it back. Yes, yeah, thank you for taking notes. What I don't want to forget is that, yes, no, not a regular someone who would have stolen it, because a normal person would have died by touching this artifact. Yeah, there's many ways. Okay, great. So that's how I'm gonna complete now the game unfolding machine seed generator to see what else do we learn. We know the mission, we know the motivation, because that would reveal a secret, world secret, valuable lore, I guess. That's the motivation. Maybe they want, this artifact is like world secret that we need to uncover, and I don't think she's gonna give it away right now, but I can ask, like, is she gonna say anything about the artifact right now? Chu is definitely no. Even subjectively is apparently not, so maybe we have a chance to try to convince her. What can you tell us about the Ixer? And for that we need a persuasion roll. Hydra's persuasion is like 10. So if I roll a 10 or less, I might learn something else. 10, that's a success. So she's got to reveal something. I'm gonna use fantasy GMA deck, or what could I use to reveal something random about an artifact? We know it's evil, we know nobody can touch it. It's probably Elven. I need something random. Let's get the infamous Scene Unfolding Machine random. NPC table. Yeah, what would you see in an NPC table? Like the whole purpose tables. Ah, like this one. Evil purposes or motivations. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. That I like David's idea too. I like both ideas. So we're gonna write down two aspects of it. Oh, then what did you mean? Because that's here. That's in, there's evil purposes and motivation, and also there's NPC intention or deeds and evil intentions or deeds. So this would be more for someone, and then evil motivation or purpose could be something more general, like for an object. Thank you for purchasing Game Unfolding Machine, by the way. It's like I feel I can play just with these, but maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, I have lots of tools. Okay, let's go back into the game. So one idea is definitely David's idea. This thing we said, it can hear in the beyond. So first, who touches will die unless they can see in the beyond. And second, whoever hears what's in beyond, even if they survive it, they will go crazy. So that's what she's gonna say. Let's see, anyways, rolling a D10, D100 here, what would have given us in the evil motivations. Maybe it's something interesting could have in here. Yeah. 65. Yes, Plot Unfolding Machine is the last version I'm working on, has some things of Mythic because I have lists here. So these things I should write around here actually. It's an active lead, so who touches it dies. And also who hears it, so that's an active lead all the way. The Ixar. And also someone stole it. Who could have stolen? I think she also needs to say what's her suspect, but I'm gonna assume the suspect will be probably... I mean, she rescued us from the Vaivod tribe. That means that they could not have stolen it. Someone else would have stolen it. We need to know who. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's roll this. What we had here is 76. The evil purpose or motivation would have given us corrupting by the will of the masses. I guess this is a typo. It's probably corrupted. What should say here? or I don't know, I'm not sure. By the will of the masses. This could be an interesting thing for the artifact as well. The will of the masses. Yeah, probably a cult of some sort, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. So, let's go on with the game unfolding machine, because this is part of the plot seed generator. Yes, part of the ritual was stops rituals. Yes, and they are this big evil thing. Correct. Correct. Yes, funneling artifact of planar gods. Probably. I don't know if Symbaroum talks a lot about planar gods, but there is a second plan. This is this beyond where the shadows casts to, and usually there's an entire book in the Game Master's Guide that talks about this plane of the beyond. Maybe between this session and the next one I will take a read and get some ideas from there. So plot seed number 2, she's gonna give an initial lead. This is part of Game Unfolding Machine, so let's stick to that. And with that we continue role playing. 3, someone in danger to help and talk to. So she's gonna tell us someone who's relevant, and this someone is in danger. All right, so that's what she's gonna give us. And let's see who's the opposition. Now we should complete the game generation. 16. You aren't sure how or where they operate. So whoever is the enemy, we are not sure how or where they operate. I know I'm doing something strange. I'm like playing and stopping the game to complete the game generation part. Once the plot is defined, I'm hoping to play more continuously. So we don't know about the enemy, don't know how or where, but we know someone who might have seen them. And this someone is in danger. This is what she's gonna say. And the 18 is the caveat. There are unknown vulnerabilities, needs more intel. That doesn't add much, but maybe she's trying to say that we don't know what else this artifact does other than what she knows. So go back to the role playing. Hydra succeeded her persuasion, so she's getting access to this extra information, and Annabelle is gonna say, well, I guess if I want you to be successful in what I'm asking you, I should tell you everything I know. But don't abuse your rights here. And I fully trust you will be committed to the cause, as you have seen, we are working together with your own very clan of the Ovayodas. And Golda says, what? The chieftain is with you? He is, and we are in good terms. Just for now, and because we need your help. However, it cannot be known that such a request came from your clan. Revealing such a secret can put everybody in danger. Do you understand? I don't understand a word of what you're saying, miss, says Goldas the Goblin. But if the chief trusts you, we can trust you. That's all I need to know. And if we need to help you get back what we were doing, then we will. Rothar nods, and Hydra says, I did not forget about the question I had just asked. Yes. The artifact is called the Ixar. It's a powerful stone that somehow got in the hands of your clan many centuries ago. You probably did not know, but your chief handpicked you to be able to hold and withstand such a ritual that would be the stopping of a greater evil from harassing these lands. As we know, your ritual didn't go so well, and your chief came to our aid because we can help. Only the knowledge that lies in this fortress itself can unlock many of those secrets of the Ixar stone. But for us to be able to unlock these secrets, we need you to recover it. And unfortunately, we do not know who has it, but it has extremely dark powers no one should dare to mess with. We have seen your ritual being performed from afar, and we have seen that you have covered your eyes, Hydra. So you know very well what are the dangers that these are. And Hydra knows a bit. She knows that looking in the beyond is dangerous, but Annabella is going to add this detail. And Annabella is going to say, if anyone touches it that cannot see beyond the shadow, yes, we have heard you, it will die, and boom, go boom. Shut up, Goltas. They will not only see in the beyond, they will be able to hear the whispers of the shadows of Davokar. If you didn't know that, you now know what it means. And I don't ask me to repeat that name again. So Hydra will understand. She's a sorceress. She likes risks and danger. She's been a loyal servant to the chief of her clan. And I guess she understands the danger. So, where should we start then? There is someone I know with eyes and ears everywhere. We need to generate this weird NPC, which I guess it's going to be someone tribal, probably a witch. What do you guys think? Who might have stolen the stone of the Ixar. I need a very, very cool character generation here that can really give me something weird. I wonder if Game Unfolding Machine can do that. Can Game Unfolding Machine generate a very interesting character? Character generator by possessions, by activity, by intentions. I need a very interesting character here. Yeah, Philip, I really would suggest you play like this and show your game. I would love to watch any other guys playing. It's not easy to play live, I admit, because many things can go wrong, but what the heck. Anyways, I need a very cool character. How could I create a very cool character? Game Master's Apprentice could be the game character generator. And with that, I'm going to close this session because that opens up the next episode of the entire game. We're going to end this plot giving here. But before that, I need to know who is this character and what are they doing. So let's get positions and activity and go on from there. 12. 12 is profession object for music or art is what they have. So they draw things, maybe some sort of visionary oracle that can draw what they see in the beyond. I like this idea. And 7 is they are usually researching. I need some sort of appearance, maybe impression. 8 is agile, fast, flexible, sneaky, maybe some sort of demon. Maybe they're not probably human. They are some sort of these flying demons. And finally, an imp. I think it's called an imp. 14. To exchange information and talk to you would be what they want. Cool. With that said, let me see what the game... does this give me anything cool? Let's see the cards, the famous cards. No, not this one. The fantasy one. This gives me some name. Ivor, Lolana, Sydney. It's got fear, temperance. So, okay, we're gonna call an imp called Ivor. And we've got here a few things, a few ideas. Let's roll on with that and not do any more anything. There is someone who rumors say they can see where this stone is by following its own shadow. Hydra will interrupt and say, non-living things don't have shadows. Well, my dear, the stone of Ixar has a shadow. It's not a shadow that anyone can see, but only few of us can. And those us is an imp. He is in the borders of the forest of Avocar. And he's going to be in great danger if you don't find him first. First and whom? We don't know exactly. But he's going to be in danger. Follow the path to the north. My scouts will lead you to the southwestern entrance of the forest. The scouts will let you know where they have last seen the imp. It's know that he roams around this area, but as you know, the Davokar forest is not a welcoming place. Look for Ivor, and he might have more answers for you. Fine. How can we recognize that this Ivor is the only imp we've seen? First, there are not many demons like him, and second, he shall see the hand of Hydra from far, and he will be attracted to it, because Hydra, my dear, your hand now emits the shadow of Ixar. And that sounds very spooky, because now Hydra is tied to this quest. She touched the stone. Her hand is casting a shadow into the corruption world, and a demon called Ivor is in danger and might detect her shadow and come to her. With that said, I'm gonna take a break, but I need to take some notes before I forget. Guys, thank you so much. I see 4 viewers. That's much more than I had hoped to see here, but we've got a very, very interesting plot seed that we made up on the fly in the last hour. Yeah, let me know. I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think. Gonna try and continue this game with plot unfolding machine until this sticky here gets to the very end of the plot. I hope 2 or 3 sessions, not more, and figure out this shady world of thing. In the meantime, I'm gonna read a bit more of the lore of Symbaroum to make it more Symbaroum. And with that said, we've got the support of the Church of Brios. We've got 2 fighting clans and secrets ongoing around the stone of Ixar. What that means, we don't know much about, but let's figure that out in the next scene. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna cut off some of this intro and maybe upload this video for future record. This is Jensen Vars, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.